Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be giving you chapter 6 of Naruto, the new shinobi god. I hope you enjoy, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Chapter 6, A Mission in the Wave. A few hours later, Kakashi appeared in front of Naruto's compound and saw Naruto and his girls having some fun, with each of the girls having at least 3 Narutos, one in each hole. Kakashi had a bit of blood coming out of his nose, then snapped out of it and said, "Naruto, the council has requested your presence for 2 reasons. Naruto said, "Is one for Mitsuki?" Kakashi nodded, and then with a grin, as he was still pounding all of his girls, as they was blushing because another man saw them naked and getting pounded in all 3 holes. And then it all climaxed at the same time. Then Naruto said, "Okay, do y'all want to come along? It should be fun. I'm sure the other reason is because of the Uchiha." They all nodded, showered, and got dressed as Naruto walked past Kakashi and whispered in his ear, "Enjoy the show?" Kakashi nodded yes, but don't tell Lord Hiashi or Lady Tsumi, and well, you might want to wipe the blood from your nose. And next time, knock, or you might lose some of your memory, said Naruto with a devilish smile. Kakashi just nodded. "Oh, and yeah, we have protection, well, a protection shield. Hinabi made it." At the council, Hiruzen said, "Thank you for coming, Naruto, but why are they here?" Naruto said, "Well, they were also helping me gather info on the traitor, and I'm sure they are involved in the other matter as well." Hisashi and Tsumi saw their daughters blushing and slightly let out a breath and grinned. Then Hisashi said, "Hinata, Hinabi, and Naruto, good job at making Rookie and Koinichi of the Year." They all said, "Thank you, Lord Hiashi." Tsumi said, "Good job on your graduation, Hana." As Hana said, "Thank you, Mom." After all 4 of them gave their evidence on Mizuki, he was sent to prison. Then Mabiki screeched out, "Hey, demon!" as a kunai flew past her and her chair and then scratched her cheek as she looked back at her chair and sank into it. And Naruto said, "Miss Haruno, watch what you say. I wouldn't want you to break the 3rd law, and I still remember my birthday gift from you, and I would love to give it back to you." As he said this, he had a twisted smile on his face. Then Mabiki said, "How do you have weapons in here?" Naruto said, "I don't. I can make weapons." And all the shinobi nodded. She then said, "Naruto." As he was about to throw another kunai, Hisashi said, "You will address him as young Lord Uzumaki, civilian. Only clan heads can call him by his name and other shinobi." She then said, "Young Lord Uzumaki," as she had a bit of venom in her voice saying it. "We called you here for 2 more reasons." Naruto then said, "I guess it has to do with those 2 in the corner, your trash daughter and that loser Uchiha." She then said, "You will address him as Lord Uchiha and Lady Haruno." "No, I won't. For one, Sakura and you don't belong to a clan, and Sasuke isn't the clan head, his mother is." Sakura steps out. "Say his name right, demon," as a kunai cut her cheek as well. "Did you not hear me and Lord Hisashi? What we told your mother? Calling me demon is against the law, and since you are clanless, you will call me Naruto or young Lord Uzumaki. Got it?" She nods. "Naruto, say his name right." "He is Sasuke." Naruto said, "I said it right. Sasuke." Then all the shinobi, including the stoic Hisashi, even Hiruzen, let out a small giggle. "Well, Miss Haruno, what did you want?" She said, "You will make both my daughter and Lord Uchiha a weapon and teach them your new blood clone jutsu." Naruto then said, "No, for neither one of them are either kenjutsu or weapon masters, and my weapons are worth 10 million Ryo each. and that jutsu is mine. Naruto then said, Lord Hisashi, would you mind checking their chakra level? As he nodded and said, well, young Haruno here has barely getting chakra levels, and Meibuki hung her head, and the young Ichiya has low to medium getting chakra levels. Naruto said, there you go. They don't have nearly enough chakra to use it. You have to have at least Jonin chakra levels to make one clone. Then Hiruzen asked Hisashi to check Naruto's chakra, but he knew that he had at least Kage level chakra. Hisashi said, well, Lord Third, he has extremely high Kage levels. Actually, he has 10 times more than you did in your prime, and that is just his chakra, as everybody was surprised. Naruto said, well, are we done? And Sasuke said, no, as he was cut off by a kunai. Naruto. You may just as Hisashi and Tatsumi had him picked up off the floor, and Hinata disappeared and had a karambit at his privates, and she said, I told you, if you called us sluts again, I would make you regret it. As she started to bring her karambit up to detach his manhood, Hiruzen said, stop, okay, stop. Go back to your compound before she turns you into a woman and their parents kill you, and I won't stop them the next time. Alright, this meeting is over. Then Naruto said, can I talk to you alone, Lord Third? He nodded. Naruto then said, I'll be back in a little. Naruto then said, as everyone left, I also perfected a new seal. Maybe you would like to use it, and for the right price. But I won't be charging. I want to be put on a team with my girls, and for a joining sensei, maybe Mikoto or Hitomi, if any of them can. Hiruzen said, well, you all would make a good heavy assault team or sensing team, but that depends on what the seal of yours does. And Naruto nodded and said, it will de-age you about 20 years. Would you? Hiruzen said, if it was possible, then yes. But Naruto said, okay, and put the seal on Hiruzen, and then Naruto asked, from 1 to 20 years, how much do you want to go down? As Hiruzen said, well, about 15 years. And Naruto said, activate. As Hiruzen de-aged 5, 10, 15, deactivate. Naruto said, there you go, 15 years younger. As he said, well, thank you. You can have it. It has 5 more years left on it. As Hiruzen nodded, then Hiruzen said, why don't you want to be on a team with Kakashi? Naruto said, I would love to, but he needs to teach Sasuke how to use the Sharingan, and if I'm with him, I will have to keep a genjutsu on my eyes until I reveal my heritage sometime at the tuning exams when I take it. Then Hiruzen said, halt, and Anbu dropped to the floor and said, yes, Lord Hokage. Hiruzen said, can you get Mikoto, Hitomi, Tenzo? The Anbu said, hi, Hokage-sama. A few minutes later, the 3 showed up and said, yes, Lord Hokage. Hiruzen said, would any of you like to take on a training Naruto's Genin team? Tenso said, I would love to, but I have to get back to my Anbu duties. I'm sorry, young lord. Naruto said, it's fine, and I kind of expected that. Hitomi said, yes, I would. Then Mikoto also said, I wouldn't mind either. Hiruzen then said, well, how about this? Since it's going to be a heavy assault team on low-level D and C rank missions in the village, Hitomi will be in charge, and so that they won't risk Lady Hitomi from getting her eyes stolen. Then they both nodded and all left. 1 month later. Team 18 reporting for mission, Lord Third. Naruto said, welcome Naruto. I have... As a small dog poofs into existence on Hiruzen's desk. Naruto said, wait, Parkun, is everything alright? Parkun said, yo, Naruto, and no. Lord Third, the C-rank mission you sent Team 7 on turned into a B-rank, maybe even an A-rank mission, and they requested backup. Hiruzen looks at Mikoto, can your team handle this? She thinks and says, yes, even if it's an A-rank, I am a high Jonin and Naruto skills are at least a medium Jonin. Hinabi is a low Jonin, and Hinata and Hana are both high tuning. The Hokage nodded. Then looked to Naruto. Have you learned that jutsu yet? Naruto thinks and pulls out a certain kunai and said, do you mean this one? The Hokage nods. Naruto said yes, and I gave Kakashi Sensei one. Okay then, I want you all to be there and be backup for all of them. They all said yes, Hokage. Mikoto said okay, meet at the gate in 30 minutes and pack for a month, just in case. They all said yes, Mikoto Sensei. At the Uzumaki compound, yo, Miyabi, you there? She said yes, Lord Naruto. Naruto then said, I got a mission and I need to know if you're a medical fox. She said yes. Okay, do you know any battle foxes? She then said yes, and he's also a good spy fox as well. And he's also my mate. He is a three-tailed black fox named Tanshi. Naruto said okay, I'll summon him. Then Tanshi poofs and said, there you are, Miyubi. Where have you been? As she points to Naruto with one of her tails. Oh, I'm sorry, Lord Naruto. What do you need? Naruto said, well, I got a mission and I might need yours and Miyubi's help on it. Tanshi said, okay, seems like Miyubi has made a pact with you, and if you don't mind, Naruto said, it's fine, and sorry for keeping your mate from you as he did the pact. Okay, let's get to the gate. They both said, yes, Lord Naruto. At the gate, Mikoto says, does everybody have what they need? They all said, yes, Mikoto Sensei. Naruto said, okay, everybody get close as he wraps his arms around the group, and in a flash, they was in front of Kakashi in a water prison. At seeing Kakashi in a water prison with his Sharingan activated, he copied it. He then said, oh, so that's what this eye does. He then said Kamui as Kakashi disappeared in a swirl and then next to Naruto in the same fashion. Kakashi said, is that what? Naruto said, shh, I'll tell you later, pointing at Sakura, Sasuke, and Sai. Then Kakashi nodded. We need to deal with him first, Kakashi Sensei. He then nodded. Naruto then took out his katana and slowly walked towards the missing Nin and said, you, missing Nin, I would like to know your name. By the way, I am Naruto Uzumaki. The missing Nin said, oh, why do you want to know? Naruto said, well, you seem strong, and judging by your sword and your forehead protector, you're one of the 7, and I think it's only right to know the name of an opponent of your level, and since we're both Kenjutsu masters as well as the missing Nin then saw the sword Naruto held. He gulped and said, well, if you can wield that sword, out of respect for its previous owner, I will tell you my name. I am Zabuza Momoji. Just tell me, how are you connected to the Leaf's Red Death? Naruto smiled at his mother's moniker and said, well, I am her son. Zabuza gulped again. Well, this is going to be fun. Naruto said, Miyubi, heal the others, and Tanshi, protect them. Yes, Lord Naruto, as they both jumped off of his shoulders and began their orders. As Naruto began to channel red chakra into his sword and said, Demon Blade style, Demon Slash. As Zabuza barely dodges, but opens a large gash as 3 Zen bombs hit Zabuza's neck as Naruto switched his inner Mangekyo to his father's under his genjutsu and saw the Hunter Nin come and said, thank you, I've been tracking this one for a while, but with your help, I was able to kill him. Naruto had his head slightly tilted and looked at Team 7 and nodded, thinking to himself to let them go. This would help Team 7 train, and I don't want to hurt her. Maybe I can sweet talk her to give up the life of a missing Nin and come back to the village as my 4th. Hey dope, Sasuke said, cutting Naruto's train of thought, and Mikoto hit him in the head, and Miyabi and Tanshi both bit him on the arms and said, show him some respect, call him Lord Naruto, and his mom glared at him. Show some respect, he is the next in her head, Senju, Uchiha, and Uzumaki clan head. Sasuke then said, Naruto, I demand you teach me that jutsu you used to get here. Naruto said no. It's a clan jutsu of my father's clan on his mother's side. Then he said, Shadow Clone, as 2 clones in Anbu masks show up. Hey Dragon, hey Fox, can you help Team 7 to get to the bridge builder's house? And right before Kakashi fell on his knees, Naruto caught him and stuck out his hand and told him to bite. Kakashi said, "Why?" Naruto said, "To replenish your chakra and heal you." Then Kakashi nodded and bit his arm, and in just a second got back to his feet and said, "Thanks." At Tazuna's house, Naruto said, "Okay, well, Zabuza is still alive, so Kakashi-sensei, you probably should train your team a little." And Kakashi nodded, but Sakura said, "But we saw him die, so how do you know?" Naruto said, "Well, my eyes see more than just deception." Then Mikoto, Kakashi, and his girls, knowing what he was talking about, just let out a small giggle. Besides, ask Hinata or Hinabi, they both nodded yes, he is still alive. Sakura said, "Why did you let him go then?" Naruto said, "Well, for multiple reasons. One, you all are exhausted. Two, we don't have enough info to properly attack." He then looked at Tanshi, and then he nodded and disappeared. And lastly, to use his time to train you three. And he said, 4, to sweet talk and learn the name of that beautiful hunter / missing nin, female nin. By the way, that hunter nin isn't a hunter, but Zabuza's partner, as Mikoto and Kakashi nodded. 1 week later, Naruto was out meditating when he heard a person getting close to him. He then looked up and said, "Ah, Miss Hunter Nin. What is your name, Ice Princess?" She said, "Well, I'm Haku Yuki, and what is yours?" Naruto then said, "I am Naruto Uzumaki." Haku then said, "Do you have a precious person?" Naruto nodded. Haku smiled and then said, "You will probably be truly strong. And by the way, I'm a boy." Naruto smiled and said, "No, you're not. My eyes see through more than just deception." Haku tilted her head. Naruto then said, "Oh, by the way, tell Zabuza to get well." Haku started to turn back but decided to just walk away. She then thought, "Wait a minute, did he call me Ice Princess? Does he know of my bloodline? Oh well, I'll find out later. Besides, he's kind of handsome. And I heard the Uzumaki was a kind of powerful clan in the past, and that they have a new young clan head. Maybe it's Naruto. After this mission, I might talk to Zabuza about finally stopping the running and try to go back to the leaf." 1 week later. "Dragon, Fox, can you stay here and look at the Tajuna's daughter and grandson?" asked Naruto. They both nodded. Team 7 and Team 18 left. At the bridge, Hinata, Mikoto, Hinabi, and Naruto said, "Okay, both of them are here." Naruto said, "I'll take on the hunter, Mikoto-sensei and Kakashi-sensei. Can you handle Zabuza?" They both nodded yes. Then, "The rest of you protect Tajuna." Hinata, Hinabi, Hana, Sakura, and Sai all said yes. As Sasuke huffed and said, "Why does Naruto get to fight while he leaves?" As Kakashi said, "Can it, Genin, and protect the bridge builder," while Mikoto said, "You are nowhere near an elite. You are barely a Genin, so do what you are told," as he said, and went to the bridge builder with Hinata in front, Hinabi in back, Hana on his right, and Sakura on his left, and Sai also at his back. Naruto then looked and said, "Shadow Clone," as a clone came out and nodded to the girls, and Team 7 came in between them in the Manji formation. Then Naruto said, "Four Flames formation." The original said, "Okay, we can now begin, but first, Zabuza, just so you know, Gato is going to betray you." Zabuza said, "And how do you know that, brat?" Naruto smiled and said, "This is how," as he summoned Tanshi. "This is one of my spy/battle foxes, and I had him spy on you to get information, since that is half the battle. We will fight for now. If he betrays us, then we will talk. Oh, by the way, Zabuza, after this I want you and Haku to come back to the leaf. I am sure you two are tired of running, and also needing to take on missions just to get by." Besides, I have a bit of influence with the Hokage. Besides, with you being one of the 7 and Haku having a rare and powerful bloodline, the Hokage would be a fool to turn you away, and you all would be under the protection of the Uzumaki clan. He said, "We will see." At that, they heard a voice. "So, the brat knew I was going to betray you because of that stupid fox." Well, he is right. There is no way I was going to pay you that. As Gato saw the heads of his men roll on the bridge in a second, as Naruto was in front of him. Naruto looked in his eyes with his Sharingan covered in a genjutsu and saw all of Gato's thoughts on his slaves, women he used as breeding cows, as Naruto said, "You are vile." Then activating his Mangekyo with Senshui's eyes in the middle, and you will free all your slaves, females, and sign all your businesses over to me. Get out all your money and give half of it to the Wave Country, 1/4 to the Leaf, 1/8 to me, and 1/8 over to Zabuza and Haku. After this is done, walk to the middle of town and commit seppuku slowly. And Gato nodded. A few hours later at Tazuna's house. Team 7 and Team 18, Zabuza and Haku were sitting in Tazuna's living room discussing what might happen, as Zabuza and Haku decided to go to the Leaf with them. That's when Sasuke turned to Haku with an arrogant smile on his face and said, "If you decide to return with us to the Leaf, then I will allow you to help me rebuild my clan. With your powerful Kekkei Genkai, it was strengthened." Haku stands up and slaps Sasuke. "Even if you wouldn't have insulted me by trying to turn me into a breeding cow for your clan, I would have still said no. For one, I don't like arrogant fools who think that they are the sagest gift to the shinobi world, and I also will only give myself to somebody both kind and powerful, which you are neither, Uchiha." Then she walks to Naruto. "But you are both, not to mention good looking, smart, and also part of a once powerful clan. I can see that even though you have multiple future wives, you care for them all the same. Can I?" With a huge blush. "I wouldn't mind if you asked me to join in your CRA." Naruto looked at Hana, Hinata, and Hinabi. They all nodded in agreement. He shifts his eyes to Mikoto. She also nods, but only slightly, not to alert anyone else. Naruto then goes into his mindscape and asks Kurama. She said, "I don't care, as long as she knows who the alpha female is." Naruto finally says, "I would love to have you as one of my future wives. For now, you are the 4th. He then looked at Zabuza and he nodded, but said, "If you ever hurt her, well, you will be a head shorter." And Naruto gulped and said, "Okay." At that moment, a small orange fox appeared in a poof of smoke with a scroll in his mouth. Naruto told the fox thank you. Then the fox said, "Think nothing of it, Lord Naruto," and disappeared. After Naruto read the scroll and saw a seal in it, he said, "Well, the Hokage has agreed to let you join, but he has conditions." Both Haku and Zabuza raised an eyebrow. "First condition. Well, Haku and I will have to marry as soon as we get back into the village and produce an heir within 2 years. And Zabuza will have to change his name to Zabuza Momochi Uzumaki. Number 2, both of you will be watched for 1 year till you prove that you are not a threat." They both nodded in agreement as Haku had a huge blush on her face, knowing that they will be doing what they will be doing soon. Naruto then said okay and said release, and 2 forehead protectors came out of the scroll. "Well then, Zabuza, you will be a joining of the Leaf, and Haku will be a special tuning of the Leaf." They both took the new forehead protectors and asked Naruto to burn their old ones. Then Naruto looked over to Haku and Zabuza and said, "I need to tell you something," and made a few people. They both looked confused, but said okay. They went a few miles into the woods, and Naruto put seals, a concealment seal and a silent seal. Zabuza said, "Well, this is impressive, but why the secrecy?" Naruto said, what I'm about to tell you is a double S rank secret of the leaf. Only my guardians, 2 bodyguards, and family / future family is allowed to know. Since Haku will be my wife in a few weeks and you will be kind of my uncle / brother, you have the right to know this. Besides, I want you to know. Haku said, okay, but what kind of secret is it? Naruto said, well, my Kekkei Genkais and my lineage. Zabuza and Haku said, you said Kekkei Genkais as in more than one. Naruto nodded, then Haku asked, how many do you have? Naruto said, well, technically 6. As Haku and Zabuza said, you have 6 bloodlines? Well, yes, but that's not the shocking part, as he then did 2 one-handed hand signs and said wood style, wooden house jutsu, and metal style, metal fittings jutsu. As Zabuza and Haku said, you have wood release? Naruto nodded, and Zabuza got out of his stupor and said, what is this metal style? Naruto said, well, I'm not surprised you've never heard of it, because I'm the only second person to have it, and the last one was Hagoromo Otsutsuki. Zabuza then said, wait, what, you have the same bloodline as the father of shinobi? Naruto said, well, for now let's go in and I'll explain everything and tell you the rest of my bloodlines, as Naruto explaining in Tazuna's house. Sasuke said, well, I'm gonna follow them. That dope won't keep secrets from an elite like us. Sai nodded because Danzo had told him to gather info on both Sasuke and Naruto. When they came to a clearing in the woods where Naruto was, Sai said, wait, stop. There's a barrier. We would just have to wait for someone to come in or out and then sneak in, as Sasuke scoffed but said okay. After Naruto told everything to Haku and Zabuza, they both just nodded dumbly, and Zabuza said, you have lava, wood, and metal release, not to mention the Sharingan, chakra chains, and chakra bite. And you're the son of the Red Death, Kushina, the Yellow Flash, Minato, the 4th Hokage, but also the grandson of Tsunade and Madara, and the great grandson of Hashirama, the 1st Hokage, and Mito, the Uzumaki princess. Well, Haku, I don't think you could have found a better man for your husband. Haku blushed, but said, well, I don't really care about his clans. I only said that to get under the Uchiha's skin. As Zabuza laughed and said, that you did. Mikoto said, I'm sorry if my son upset you, but he is far too arrogant for his own good. Then Hinata, Hinabi, and Hana said, okay, we're heading to bed, and let you and Haku have some personal time, as Hinabi and Hinata came to Haku and gave her access to their seals and said, have some fun. Then Hinabi said, let me give you this as well. It's the reverse to my seal. Haku said, but what do they do? Hinata whispered, mine is to make him erect whenever you use it. And Hinabi said, mine has 2 uses. The first is for protection so you don't get pregnant, but you can reverse it to make him more productive. Haku said, well, is he good? As she blushes. All 3 nod and said, all 13 inches, as he will be gentle if you won't. Then Hana said, or rough, as she smiles, if you won't. Naruto looked to his other girls and said, do you want a quickie before I take Kakashi, Haku, and Zabuza to meet them? The 3 girls said no, just give us some time tomorrow. Naruto said, how about this, as he made 3 shadow clones. And each of the shadow clones went with each of the girls to their own private room. At the same time, in each room you heard activate, then nothing, and Kakashi, after the meeting, you 2 are going back, so you don't accidentally peek this time. Then he said, Mikoto, are you coming with us, or are you going to bed? And she said, I'll go to bed, I'll see you in the morning. Discreetly, Naruto made 1 more shadow clone to go with Mikoto. Okay guys, this chapter was a bit longer than I thought. So I'm going to give you part 2 to this chapter next week. I hope you enjoy. And this is the Forbidden signing off. And if you liked it, leave a like and a comment down below. And if you would, please subscribe. It helps out everything. Well, good night and goodbye.